Welcome back, Shalloners. You know, one question I've gotten over the years so consistently is how do you keep the spark alive in a relationship? And it was like really hard for me to answer because I didn't know. I didn't know. I had a marriage go belly up. So I've really tried to do a lot of research on this and think back to my own previous experiences on what would have made things so much better and how I've managed to be in a relationship now for a while, and it's just it feels so new all the time. So before we get into this, just a quick reminder that if you guys have questions of your own on a bit more personal level, you want to make it personal, hit me up on the Instant Go app. It's free on the app store, the app acquisition place, the app mall. My username is Shallon XO, and click chat and I reply within 24 hours, which is great. I love to talk to you guys. It's wonderful. It allows me to avoid so much awkward social situations because I'm not just idly texting or scrolling. I'm talking to people, so back off, okay? So, why? I have hives. I've been drinking Diet Coke. Am I allergic to Diet Coke? Great. I can't have nice things. I can't be allergic to cheese. No, it has to be Diet Coke. Anyway, back to the video. How do you keep the spark alive in a long-term relationship? So one of my philosophies has always been, you can't be half of a whole if you don't know what half you are. It's almost impossible to find and certainly keep a healthy relationship if you aren't really sure what you're bringing to the table. You know what I mean? It's like going to someone's house for dinner and they're like, yeah, bring something to eat. And you're like, well, what do you already have? And you're like, I don't know. And they're like, I don't know either. It's impossible to create a cohesive situation. And knowing yourself is really only half the battle because people change. But the first step, if you know yourself, it's easier to figure out where you're going to go emotionally in life. You know, things aren't just going to come at you. You're going to be a little bit more aware of the things you like, the things you accept, the things you don't. So the first step is really sitting with yourself and finding out, what are my attributes? What are my shortcomings? What are my emotional complexes that I've gotten from my family? Because, if you ask people what they want in a relationship, everyone says the exact same thing. Someone who's kind, smart, funny, supportive. And yet you see people in relationships that are nothing like this. It's because people pair up with people who fit their complexes. Psychologically, it's a fact that we tend to date people who remind us of our most difficult parent. Which is very interesting because in a way, we're trying to do that relationship over and do it right, fix it. I know, it's so twisted. I actually have a whole video on this, so I will link you guys to that right here somewhere. So, know thyself and work on yourself. You can't expect a relationship to stay spicy and interesting if you come home and sit down together. It's like, what'd you do today? Nothing. What'd you learn? Nothing. I'm bored. Nothing. No shit, the spark goes out of that fast. You have to have flint to strike the spark against. And you do that by constantly keeping yourself interesting. Now, I'm not saying you can't have any downtime. I'm not saying you can never be bored and you can never have a bad day. But you have to have interests outside of this relationship. Your boyfriend can't be your hobby. We all know people like that, We have that friend and she gets a boyfriend and suddenly it is literally the only thing she can talk about. Sean this, Sean that, Sean that, Sean. You're like, I don't care. She brings him everywhere. She spends all her time with him. And it's like, you're the most pathetic person because another person isn't a hobby. No. Again, you can't be half of a whole if you don't know what half you are. And you can't be half of a whole if you're not even a complete half. Okay? You can't be a 2%er. You got to be a 50%er. So work on yourself, get some hobbies. That's going to make you in love with your own life. You're going to be energized, dynamic. You're going to be thinking about things. Ambition is so sexy. Goal setting is so sexy. Enthusiasm is magnetic. That's what makes leaders. If we look at people like celebrities, the celebrities we really love are the ones who are super passionate about what they do. Not in that weird, Joaquin Phoenix, my craft, I'm an actor kind of way, but models who are working on a clothing collaboration, they're talking about, you can feel that enthusiasm. It comes through. And that's what we need in our own personal life. Those are the kind of people we instinctively follow. We're pack animals. So work on yourself, get some hobbies, set some goals. Also, get a hobby that's completely new to both of you and start it at the same time together. Maybe it's you get really into a sport, like a team, a local team. you take up some weird like tango lessons or something. Make it something that you both are physically able to do. You know, don't make it like a sport that you know he's going to kick ass at and you're not going to be good at, like basketball or something. I could never be good at basketball, and you know what, frankly, I don't want to try. I don't like the squeaking of the shoes on the floor. It drives me nuts. So, but whatever it is, make it okay, like if you guys aren't good at it, because that's almost kind of funnier. Like that promotes bonding. What you want to do is create this world for just the two of you that you have this interest in, that you can talk about, you can do things, you can travel to be part of it, you can get other people involved. The more dynamic, the better. Ideally, I think sports are good because physical activity boosts adrenaline, and adrenaline promotes bonding, like in your brain. That's why, like, if you're having a fight, go on a hike, take a walk, because that adrenaline promotes bonding and it kind of flushes your system out. So try a sport. Maybe try to learn to play hockey together or soccer, and then get really into a local soccer team or something like that. And you can like go to different cities to watch the team play there, or go to a different city and watch that team. Make it dynamic, make it interactive, and make it something that, again, neither one of you is familiar with, because then you get to learn together. One thing that my ex-boyfriend and I really got into was rodeo. I love bull riding. Like, it's the sport that, along with hockey, they're the sports that I know the most about. And we learned together, and it was really, really cool because like no one else was really into it. So you just like watched bull riding, and you know, it was great. So the third thing. So first you're gonna work on yourself and get some hobbies. You're gonna get some mutual hobbies. And the third, you're gonna get weird in bed. All right? You're gonna get weird in bed. Being sexually adventurous is the root. It is the glue that holds you together as a couple. Sexual chemistry. How do I know this? Because I've experienced the opposite in a big way. Do not recommend. Because if you don't have that, what you really have is a best friend situation, which you need to have. But you have to be best friends and lovers. You can't just be one or the other. Because if you're best friends, great, just be friends and then go out and be able to bone whoever you want. If you can't do that, if you're locked in this monogamous situation where you're sexually unfulfilled, that's not going to last very long. Conversely, we've all been in situations where we only have the sex part, but we don't have the relationship, and that's called a booty call. And that's really unfulfilling too. It's awful. So sexually adventurous. This requires, and you know what? I'm going to do some videos on this, but I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, like specifically what you want to know about this kind of topic, okay? Sexual adventurousness requires a lot of communication. Communication that is rooted in feeling emotionally safe enough to reveal how you feel. I'm a very communicative person. Shock. But it's taken me a long time to be able to be like, this is what I'm into. This is what I think we should try. This is what we should both be into. Because I've had a lot of really bad responses. People are speaking from their own complexes. They're speaking from their own upbringings, their own religious oppression. And yeah, that's how I feel about that. So there's a lot, just talking about sex is like, woo, it's like a Rubik's Cube of potential issues. It's an absolute minefield. So this is something that you kind of have to like wade into, you know, talking about it, but suggest things. Very few guys are like not willing to try stuff, you know, but I don't know. I say that and then I've suggested things and dudes are like, you know what, that was mostly only one dude. And it was scarring enough that I've like inflated him to like 10,000 people, and it wasn't. It was kind of one dude. Mostly people are adventurous, but like I said, we can get into that in other videos. But however it is you define sexual adventurousness, great. Keep an open mind. One of the best things I've ever heard about sex, and one of the best lessons I've ever been taught, and this stuck with me for so long, actually was my mom who told me this. Which I know it's weird, but God bless her for it. She's like, you know what? Sex is the one thing that is just free. They can't tax it. They can't regulate it. They can't jail you for it. It is just the thing that belongs to us as people. It's our divine right. So be weird. Enjoy it. Sleep with a bunch of people. Just be weird, do whatever. It's the thing we just have. Everyone's an equal. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to buy into it. You don't have to qualify for it. You just get to have it. So take advantage of that. How sad to go through your life like shaming yourself for what you want. Oh, I don't want to look at my no parts. It's your own body. Are there parts of your house you don't go in? Are there like certain pairs of your shoes that you refuse to look at? Because they belong to you too. And that's kind of weird to say like, oh, that's Kelsey's closet, but she won't look in there. It's her no closet. It's a dirty no closet. It's even weirder if it's your body, okay? There's nothing weird and gross about your body. I promise you this. So open up your mind sexually. That is gonna promote so much bonding. It's gonna bring you guys close together. It's gonna keep his eyes on you. I mean, eyes wander, boys stray. And a lot of times that starts with feeling like you're kind of in a rut at home. And not just in a rut, because that happens. In a rut with no ability to fix it because he or you don't feel like you can communicate about it. The sexiest thing in the world is communication. So again, ask me questions about what more you want to hear about this. I'll do a whole separate topic. Last but not least, if you're just bored and if you've tried these things and you just are, I get so many messages like there's this other guy and he's catching my eye and I don't know what to do. I've been with my boyfriend for 1.5 years. Honey, you're young. You're allowed to have a wandering eye. Do you really want to meet your husband at like 20? You don't want to sleep with anyone else for the next 65 years. If you're bored, you have the obligation, not just the right, the obligation to yourself to see what else is out there. Follow your nose. This is what dating is. You could have an outfit and you love that outfit, but at some point, you're probably going to want a different one, and that's okay. The key is to break up, do it clean. None of this shredding, we're still friends, we still talk, because if you do it clean, if you do it quick, you have the chance to get back together. Maybe you're gonna get out there and look around and be like, you know what? I actually like my boyfriend. I wanna stay together. Let's get back together. You're not gonna be able to do that if you kind of shred each other and make it this long, drawn out thing. There's gonna be so much hurt there that there's no going back. So make it quick and clean. And then, ironically, when it feels like it's the most definite end, that's actually how you keep it open. I know, I'm a genius. For more, click like and subscribe. New videos every Friday. And like I said, hit me up on the Instant Go app, username ShallonXO. Click the chat feature and I can get back to you in like 24 hours. And yeah, tell me your sex questions. Tell me all of your questions in the comments. And anything else you want to hear about on this topic, I'll do another vid.